I got married in Vegas. And it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It was so lovely. I couldn't have done a big family wedding again. Is anybody who's done the big family weddings? You know, the white frock and the bridesmaids and tangerine. Makes me feel, because I've done it so many times. I want to say 3. It might have been 4 times. And I just couldn't face doing a family wedding again. Chick, I can be honest. We're friends now. I can tell you. I don't get on all that well with my husband's mother. Which is surprising because we're about the same age, so I don't know what's that. Honestly, I don't get it. I don't understand what that's. You'd think we put on a bit of ABBA and dance, but she's not into me. I don't know why. Oh, the judges are just all staring at me. That's good. That's right. I remember why we're here. All right. Our 8th presenter. I just went 8th presenter. Yeah, I'm the genius tonight. This is the wonderful Rebecca Gladstone Gallagher, and her thesis is the role of decaying leaves in coastal ecosystems. Marine ecosystems are connected through the waterborne transport of plant litter. It's the movement of this litter from one place to another that's important in maintaining ecological function of coastal habitats. Is it important? That's the question of the thesis. Let's find out. Would you please give a massive welcome to Rebecca Gladstone Gallagher.
Imagine this. You're walking along the beach and you smell a pungent odour. At the same time, you see a band of washed up leaf litter along the beach. At this point, many of you are probably thinking that this familiar sight is just one big disgusting mess. And to be honest, so did I. But perhaps what you didn't know is that this rotting leaf litter may actually be quite important for the animals that live in our coastal ecosystems. It is this rotting leaf litter that I base my whole PhD thesis on, and when I'm walking along the beach, I get thrilled whenever I see this. This decaying leaf litter is made up of seagrass, seaweed, and mangrove leaves that have been travelled around for days, floating in the tides and currents, to be eventually deposited on this beach. The movement of leaf litter from one ecosystem, for example, a seagrass bed, to another receiving ecosystem, for example, this beach, is known as the ecological subsidy concept. Once deposited, this leaf litter decays and releases nutrients that could feed the animals and other organisms that live in this receiving beach ecosystem. So, a seagrass bed over here could provide a potential food source to a receiving beach ecosystem over here. In other words, the two ecosystems are connected by this movement of leaves. Specifically, my PhD is going to determine how much of this leaf litter is transported by the tides, and I also want to know what role this leaf litter plays as it decays and releases nutrients in this receiving beach ecosystem. These research questions are highly relevant to current coastal conservation because the intensification of agriculture, forestry, and urban development surrounding our coasts is increasing the delivery of sediments and nutrients from the land into the sea. And this is changing the distribution of our marine vegetated habitats. For example, mangrove forests are expanding in response to increased sediments and nutrients, while seagrass beds are rapidly declining. And this could change the supply of leaf litter from these plants to other connected ecosystems like this beach. The results of my PhD will contribute to our knowledge of how coastal ecosystems are connected by the movement of a potential food source in order to hopefully help inform future conservation management of our coastal habitats. So with all this in mind, I hope that next time you're walking along the beach, you'll notice and appreciate all this leaf litter that is washed up with the tides, because while it may seem insignificant at first glance, it may play an important role to the wider coastal environment. I also ask this question: do we need to conserve a seagrass bed over here in order to maintain the ecological function of a beach ecosystem over here? So also remember that while rotting leaves may offend your eyes and your nose, they are actually quite exciting and appealing for people like me.
See, there you go. There's another thing I love about being here. You go, there's somebody going to talk for 3 minutes about the role of decaying leaves in coastal ecosystems, and you go, and then it's fascinating, isn't it? It's really interesting. I love that. I love it that there's somebody in the world that is interested in studying that kind of stuff.
The University of Waikato, where the world is going.